Hey Friendswood High School Varsity, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to apply your 2020 show makeup, so let's get started. First thing, you're going to need a brow pencil. So I'm going to take the spoolie side and brush my brow hairs up. If you don't have a lot of brow hair, that's totally fine. Just brush up what you got because we're going to draw the rest in. So I'm just going to fill in the tail end of my brows. And I have a pretty decent brow shape, so you might need to work with yours a little bit more to get that shape. I have a lot of brow hair, so I just do light fill-in, but just get that nice shape going on the outer edge. And then when we get to the inner part, this is where we're going to make it a little bit more bushy. So I like to do strokes up and out as we get further into the brow. And you're going to have to go back and forth between brushing and drawing those strokes in. And there's one side of the brows. Now I'm going to speed through the next side. Now we have two bushy brows. Now we're going to dip into our Morphe palette, and it comes with a nice little piece of plastic that tells you the names, so I'll just be reading off the names. With the colors in this palette, I want you to play around with what works best for your skin tone. So if you're lighter complected, you can stick to colors like these. But if you're darker complected, you're going to need to go with colors like these. But we're all going to be using this coppery shimmer here on the lid. So lighter complexions here, darker complexions here, and then we'll all be using this dark brown as well. So since I'm lighter complected, I'm going to be taking Bucket List. If you're darker complected, you're going to be wanting to take the shade Horizon. So I'm going to just gently work this into my crease. I'm using this really big fluffy blending brush, and I'm just doing side to side motions in my crease. If you have a model lid, just go a decent amount of space up from your lash line so you can create a nice shape, and then go back in circle motions. Next, I'm going to be taking this pointed pencil brush, and we're going to use that same shade we just used in the crease, and we're going to bring it underneath on the lower lash line. And this doesn't have to be super precise or anything because we're kind of going for a smoky look. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade Vista. And if you have a darker complexion, you're going to take the shade High Temp. So I'm going to dot this in throughout my crease before we blend. Next, I'm going to be taking this little pencil brush and just working this back and forth in the crease. Then I'm going to be taking my fluffy blending brush again and just blending my entire crease out. Next, I'm going to be taking my fluffy blending brush, and we're going to dip into the shade Overlook. And I'm just going to work this in through the crease and then go back in small circle motions and blend that out. Now I'm going to go back into the shade Vista, and if you're darker complexion, use the shade High Temp. And I'm just going to add a little bit more of that color back in. And I basically just place the color there with that fluffy blending brush. And with the really big fluffy blending brush, I'm going to go back in and blend it all out. Before I move on, I'm going to be taking the shade Vista / High Temp. And I'm going to be putting this underneath on my lower lash line. Next, I'm going to be taking this flat packing brush, and you're going to need some sort of water. I just have a little bit of a spray bottle full of water, and you're going to slightly dampen your brush. We're going to dip it into the shade Photo Op, so make sure you get a good amount of that pigment on your brush. And then we're going to pat this onto the lid. You see how we have all this open space where no eyeshadow is? That's where you want to pat it. And the trick here to not having to go back and fix this shadow is just to be really precise about where you're patting this on the lid and keep the nice shape so we don't have to go back over. And that is it for the eyes. Let's move on to shaping the face. So I'm going to be taking my bronzer and an angled fluffy blending brush. That's it for the eyeshadow. Let's move on to sculpting the face, shaping the face. I'm going to be taking my bronzer and an angled fluffy face brush, and I'm just going to be contouring or just bronzing up in here. I'm not going for anything super chiseled. So I take the brush and I work this up into my hairline, right in this hollow space between my cheekbone and my jawbone. You want to leave the color lighter out here and really build up that color out here. So for this, you're going to be using the color that works best with your skin tone. And if you're a darker complexion, what might work best for you is if you contour your highlights. So you'd be adding highlight right here, here to the forehead, and right here. Once you're done with the face, we can move on to the very last step, which is the lipstick. I almost forgot one of the very most important steps. After you're finished with your eyeshadow, you're going to be applying false lashes. So I'm going to give you a rundown of how to put them on. I have lash extensions right now, so I'm not going to be putting them on for you guys. But I want to walk you through the process of trimming them and making sure that they can go on your eye correctly. So you're going to grab your lashes, you're going to pull them off of this, pulling from the outside part of the band in, gently doing it so you don't rip the lash at all. Then you're going to take the lash, you're going to place it on your lash line and make sure it measures out okay, that it's not going to poke your inner corner or hang off on the outer edge. That's a recipe for disaster. It's definitely gonna fall off or it's gonna poke your eye, so you want to make sure that it's the correct size for your lash line. Once you've measured it out, you want to take your scissors and cut from the outer band side, not the inner side, and not from the lash side, the outer band side. And that is if you need to cut any off. If it's a perfect size, don't do anything with it. Once you have the correct amount cut off of both lashes, you're going to want to take your lash glue and apply a thin layer of glue to the back side of the band. Wait about 30 to 45 seconds, let it get tacky, and then you're going to take your lash. You're going to come from a high 45-degree angle and you're going to place it on the lash line. Press the center down first and then push it into your lash line on the outer edge and then the inner edge, making sure that it fits securely. About 30 or 45 seconds after you have it fitted, take your finger and push those lashes up. You want it to be nice up and open and not straight out. This is the completed show makeup. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave any questions in the comment section down below, or you can shoot me an email. I'll leave it in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing start to your season.